My friend, let me ask you, what would you do if you bought fish from the market, opened it up to cook, and instead of finding only bones and flesh, you found a secret that could destroy everything you thought you knew about your family? This is the story of Ngozi, a young woman from Oba, Nigeria, who discovered a faded photo inside the belly of a fish. A photo that dragged her into a dangerous past filled with betrayal, lies, and a truth too heavy for her shoulders. Stay with me until the end of this story, because what Ngozi uncovered is something you will never forget. And when you finish listening, you too will ask yourself, if it were you, would you have burned that photo or searched for the truth? The sun was burning bright over Oba Market, and the air smelled of smoke, dried crayfish, and fresh palm oil. Women were shouting prices, men were carrying baskets, and children ran between stalls. Ngozi, only 22, moved carefully with her small nylon purse pressed tightly against her chest. She was a seamstress who had been struggling since the death of her parents, but she always managed to provide for herself and her younger brother, Chike. She stopped at Mama Ifeoma's store, the old woman who was known for selling the freshest catfish. Ngozi bargained hard, like every careful woman in the market, and finally paid for one big fish. She wrapped it in old newspaper, balancing it carefully in her hands, not knowing this ordinary Saturday would mark the beginning of something extraordinary. Back at home, the small kerosene stove hissed as Ngozi lit it. She hummed quietly as she cleaned the fish, while Chike sat on a stool peeling cassava for Gary. The siblings shared a small compound house, walls painted brown by years of rain and dust, but they had each other, and that was enough. Ngozi picked up her sharp knife, ready to clean the fish. She sliced it open smoothly, but suddenly the blade struck something hard inside. She frowned. At first, she thought maybe it was a stone the fish had swallowed, but when she reached in, she pulled out a nylon package. Her breath caught as she quickly unwrapped it, and inside was a faded photograph. The picture was old, the edges eaten by time, but the faces were clear enough. A man and a woman stood side by side in front of a large house. The man wore a smile that sent a chill down Ngozi's spine. It was the same smile her father used to give before he passed away years ago. She blinked hard, her hands trembling. Yes, it was her father, Papa Emeka. But the shock didn't stop there. Beside him was a woman Ngozi had never seen before, her hand resting firmly on his arm like a wife or a lover. Ngozi felt her stomach twist. Who was this woman, and why was this photograph hidden in the belly of a fish? Chike! Ngozi called, her voice shaking. Her younger brother rushed in and stared at the photograph. He rubbed his eyes and looked again. That looks like Papa, he whispered, but who is the woman? His young face tightened with confusion. Ngozi's thoughts spun in circles. Why would anyone hide a photo of her late father in such a strange place? Was this woman a secret wife? A mistress? And why would the photo need to be hidden inside a fish of all things? She felt the walls of her small kitchen close in on her. Something wasn't right. That night, Ngozi lay awake on her mat, staring at the patched zinc roof. The chirping of crickets and the croaking of frogs filled the air, but her mind refused to rest. She clutched the photo under her wrapper as though letting it go would mean losing her only connection to the truth. Memories of her father filled her head, his warm laughter, the gifts he brought after long journeys, the way he kissed their mother's forehead. But now, those memories were clouded by doubt. What if his travels weren't just for business? What if there was another family somewhere, hidden from them all along? The next morning, with fire burning in her chest, Ngozi wrapped the photo in cloth and marched back to Oba Market. She found Mama Ifeoma arranging fish in wooden basins, her hands moving with the experience of decades. Ngozi stepped close and unwrapped the photograph. "Mama," she said firmly, "I found this inside the fish you sold me. Who put it there?" For the first time in years, Mama Ifeoma's steady hands trembled. Her eyes widened, and she snatched the cloth to cover the photo, as though it carried a curse. "My daughter," Mama Ifeoma whispered urgently, her eyes darting around to check if anyone was listening. "Where did you say you found this?" "In the fish you sold me yesterday," Ngozi answered. The old woman's lips tightened. She grabbed Ngozi's wrist and pulled her closer. "Then listen to me, child. Burn that photo. Forget you ever saw it. For your own good and your brother's safety, never ask questions about it again." Her tone was harsh, almost desperate, and her wrinkled face was pale with fear. Ngozi left the market with her heart racing. Burn the photo. Forget about it. That was impossible. The image was carved into her mind. How could she forget her father standing proudly beside another woman? She returned home, hiding the photograph inside her sewing box. She knew Mama Ifeoma's warning came from fear, but Ngozi's own spirit refused to back down. She had to know the truth, even if it meant uncovering a secret her father had buried with him. That evening, Ngozi carried her bucket to the village stream. On her way back, she noticed a tall man standing near the path that led to their compound. He wore dark sunglasses even though the sun was sinking, and his posture was stiff, like a soldier. The man glanced at her once, then walked away quickly into the shadows of the mango trees. A cold shiver ran through her. She had never seen him before in Oba. Somehow, she felt this sudden stranger's appearance was linked to the photograph hidden in her sewing box. Later that night, Chike begged to see the photo again. "Maybe she is our stepmother," he suggested, his youthful mind searching for explanations. "Maybe Papa married her before Mama, and nobody told us." Ngozi shook her head. If that was true, why would the picture be hidden in a fish? Why would Mama Ifeoma be so afraid? Chike's eyes shone with curiosity. "Sister, maybe this is like a mystery from those Nollywood films. Maybe we are meant to solve it." Ngozi wanted to laugh, but deep down, she knew he was right. Days passed, and Ngozi kept the photo close. One evening, she noticed the paper backing peeling away slightly. Carefully, she lifted it and discovered something shocking: a folded piece of thin paper glued behind the photograph. Her hands trembled as she opened it. The paper was a letter, written in her father's handwriting. It mentioned land, inheritance, and a name she had never heard before: Ezin. Ngozi's heart raced. Was this mysterious woman in the photo Ezin? And was she the true heir to something Papa left behind? The next morning, Ngozi went to see the oldest man in their village, Pa Okoro. She trusted his wisdom and believed he might know something about her father's past. Sitting under the udala tree, Pa Okoro listened quietly as she explained what she found. When she showed him the photo and letter, his face darkened. "Ngozi," he said slowly, "your father was a good man, but he lived two lives. There are things about him you don't know. Things that some people in this village will kill to keep hidden." Pa Okoro sighed deeply and continued. "Long before your father married your mother, he was with a woman named Ezin. She came from a wealthy family in Enugu. But there was trouble, and she disappeared one night. Nobody saw her again. Some said she died, others said she fled." Ngozi's chest tightened. "So, is the woman in the photo real? Papa truly had another wife?" Pa Okoro nodded slowly. "And if you have found this, my child, then be careful. Because those who wanted Ezin gone may still be watching." The following day, Ngozi returned home to find a folded piece of paper pushed under their door. Her stomach sank as she picked it up. The message was short and sharp: "Stop digging or you will regret it." Her knees went weak. Someone knew she had the photo. Someone was watching her closely. She clutched the note, her heart pounding. The mystery was no longer just about the past, it was now a danger to her present. As fear grew, Ngozi decided to ask Mama Ifeoma more questions. But when she reached the market, the fish seller's stall was empty. Neighbors whispered that Mama Ifeoma had traveled suddenly in the night, without telling anyone where she was going. Ngozi felt her stomach twist. Had Mama Ifeoma been silenced because of what she knew? Or had she fled for her own safety? Either way, it confirmed that Ngozi was not just chasing shadows. This was real, and it was dangerous. One evening, while Chike was asleep, there was a quiet knock on Ngozi's door. She opened it to find a woman covered in a dark shawl. The woman stepped inside quickly, closing the door behind her. Her voice was soft but urgent. "My name is Ada. I was a friend of Ezin. I know why you found that photo. And I know the truth about your father." Ngozi's eyes widened, her heart beating fast. Finally, the answers she had been searching for were within reach. Ada revealed a shocking truth: Ezin had given birth to a child before she disappeared. That child, Ada whispered, was still alive. And according to the letter, that child was the rightful heir to land and wealth Papa Emeka left behind. Ngozi felt her throat tighten. If this was true, then she and Chike were not the only children of their father. Somewhere in Nigeria, they had a brother or sister who had been hidden from them their entire lives. Ngozi described the tall man with sunglasses she had seen near the compound. Ada's face grew pale. "That man is connected to the people who wanted Ezin gone. They are watching to make sure the truth never comes out. If they know you have the photo, you are already in danger." Ngozi's hands shook as she realized the weight of the situation. The photo was not just evidence of her father's hidden past, it was proof of a secret that powerful people wanted erased forever. Days passed with tension thick in the air. Ngozi had two choices: burn the photo and stay safe, or chase the truth and risk everything. She looked at Chike, so young and innocent, and wondered if she had the right to drag him into danger. But deep down, her spirit would not let her rest. She knew the truth must come out, no matter the cost. She wrapped the photo and letter carefully, preparing to travel to Enugu, where Ezin's family once lived. She was determined to uncover the final piece of the puzzle. As Ngozi stepped out of her compound with her bag packed, she felt both fear and courage in her heart. She knew her life would never be the same again. Whether she found her lost sibling, or whether danger consumed her, the secret was now part of her destiny. She looked at the photo one last time. Her father's smile seemed different now, like a man carrying two lives in one body. She whispered, "Papa, I will find the truth." And with that, she walked into the unknown, her footsteps heavy but unshaken. Everything had changed because of a photo hidden inside a fish. My friend, if you were Ngozi, what would you do? Would you burn the photo to stay safe, or would you chase the truth no matter the danger? Drop your answer in the comments below. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this story, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another thrilling African folktale. More mysteries, secrets, and lessons are waiting for you right here.